Hi there, I am Michelle Gribble-Dates, creator of Story and Stretch, narrative yoga for kids, and author of Story and Stretch, a guide to teaching kids yoga using seasonal stories. So by this time in the session, you've helped the kids really get grounded into their bodies through breathing and mindfulness and meditation practices, and now it's time to move. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little about warming up the physical body with sun salutations and storyline sequences. The physical warm-up in Story and Stretch classes, it is designed to help children connect with their inner world of creativity, actually. Also to help them acquire listening skills, as well as improve body awareness, and to just get their juices and their joy flowing as they prepare to hold some yoga poses for longer later in the session after the story. From time to time with your group, and always with a new group, it's important to discuss how warming up our muscles both prepares them to work better and also prevents injury. I do this by describing the effect of stretching a rubber band when it is cold versus when it's warm. And so I ask the kids, what happens when you stretch a rubber band? And you want to make sure that they understand that the rubber band, it gets longer, but then it returns to its original size. And then I ask them, what happens if we were to put the rubber band in a freezer for a while and then take it out and do the same action, try to stretch it? And the answer is it would probably break. So likewise, when our muscles are warm, we can safely stretch them. However, when we skip warming up, we risk tearing our muscles. Now, also, the audience that I am teaching determines whether we begin our warm-up with sun salutations as in S-U-N or sun salutations as in S-O-N. The physical sequence is the same for both. What's different is the poem that we recite while moving through the postures. So my husband, CJ Dates, he wrote a beautiful poem for each version. And as an educator, I love having the poem to recite as we move through the poses in the sequence, because I know that it is making space for how different children learn differently, which makes it more engaging for more children. It's also really neat to see the kids over time memorize the poems and then gain the confidence to lead the activity once in a while. I don't always lead everything. After I've been working with the group for a while, I start having them lead the different elements of a Story and Stretch session, and this is probably the best activity to have them practice leading. Now, if you are looking through your copy of my first Story and Stretch book and you see the sun poem S-U-N, which I use at just elementary schools and middle schools and yoga studios when I'm teaching not in a Christian environment, but you don't see the S-O-N version, which I use when I am teaching in a Christian environment. That is because the S-O-N version will be published in my second book later in 2017, which includes 10 full lesson plans for teaching kids yoga using Old Testament stories. Now, if you don't want to wait until that book is published, you can find the S-O-N version on the Umbrella blog at www.beumbrella.com, along with the sequence of postures, which again is the same. A side note is that if you are wanting to show parents or to maybe show your congregation what the kids are doing in their story and stretch sessions, and maybe you only have a few minutes, say it's for a school assembly or it's during a worship service, having the group perform one round of sun salutations while reciting the poem that goes along with it is a really wonderful option. Now, if you are leading a class that is 60 minutes or longer, which is mostly what I do, then I would encourage you to, after the sun salutation, lead a storyline sequence warm-up. Storyline sequences, they're just little mini stories with corresponding poses. This is different from how we tell the main story and recreate it using yoga poses, which I'll discuss in the next video. With the storyline sequences, as you say each line of the story, the group does a yoga pose for that line. So in the book, I've included 7 really fun storyline sequences that will have your group pretending like they are traveling anywhere from the beach to Egypt to outer space. And I've also included 4 sequences to go along with popular nursery rhymes if you are working with preschoolers. Okay, so lots of different ways to get those little bodies moving mindfully while also enhancing their language skills and teaching them through the content of the mini stories and giving them a framework in which to dialogue with God through their bodies. I would love to hear about your experience, perhaps with your group creating their own storyline sequences or showcasing the sun salutations to a group of adults. Please contact me through the Facebook group for the Story and Stretch book. That is www.facebook.com/story-and-stretch using seasonal stories, or through my website, which is www.beombrella.com, spelled BEOMBRELLA. Also, that is where you can purchase a copy of your Story and Stretch book today. Blessings on your journey. Namaste and